Okay, so picture this. You have spent months, maybe even years, pouring yourself into this connection. You were the one reaching out, checking in, holding space, hoping things would shift. You were the one lying awake at night trying to make sense of why someone who clearly felt this too kept pulling away. And then one day, something changes. You can feel it in your bones before you can even explain it. The energy between you two does a quiet, invisible flip. And suddenly, the one who always seemed to be running is the one slowing down, looking back. And you? You're the one who suddenly doesn't feel that same urgency anymore. That right there is the runner-chaser switch. And it is one of the most disorienting, confusing, and honestly kind of beautiful things that can happen in a twin flame journey. Because it means something real has shifted, not just on the surface, but deep inside both people. This isn't about games. It isn't about tactics or playing hard to get. This is a soul level reorganization that happens when the energy work both people have been doing starts to actually land. Here's the thing though, most people don't recognize it when it's happening. The chaser suddenly pulls back and thinks they're just tired or moving on. The runner starts leaning in and thinks they're just being impulsive. Neither of them fully clocks that they are in the middle of one of the most significant energetic pivots of the entire journey. So if you're sitting there wondering whether the switch is happening for you or trying to understand what it actually means, you're in exactly the right place. Let's break it down together because there is so much more going on beneath the surface than most people realize. 1. The chaser goes quiet, not from defeat, but from expansion. The first sign is one of the most misread. The chaser pulls back. And the first instinct for a lot of people is to call it giving up, moving on, or finally getting tired. But that's not what's happening at the soul level. What's actually happening is that the chaser has done so much internal work, so much healing, so much soul searching, that they've started to arrive in a new version of themselves. And in that new version, the desperate need to chase simply doesn't fit anymore. It's not that the love is gone. The love is actually bigger than ever. It's that the chaser has stopped making the connection their whole identity. They've found something more important, themselves. And that shift in energy is enormous. The runner can feel it immediately, even if they can't name it. Something they could always count on, that warm, consistent reaching, suddenly goes quiet. And for the runner, who was used to having that safety net of the chaser's presence, that silence lands like a wake-up call. This isn't about manipulation. It's about the chaser genuinely stepping into their own life, their own joy, their own wholeness. And that wholeness? It's magnetic. It starts pulling the runner towards them in a way that years of chasing never could. Because here's what's true. You cannot pull someone into readiness, but you can outgrow the need to try. And that outgrowing is what kicks the switch into motion. 2. The runner starts feeling the absence in a way they never did before. You know that old idea that you don't know what you've got until it's gone? In twin flame dynamics, it runs so much deeper than that. When the chaser genuinely starts to shift their energy, the runner doesn't just notice the absence in a practical way. They feel it at a frequency level. There's this energetic thread between twin flames that stays live regardless of physical distance. And when the chaser's energy stops pulling toward the runner with that desperate intensity, the runner starts feeling a kind of emptiness they can't explain. They find themselves thinking about the connection out of nowhere. Dreams start picking up. There's this low-level restlessness that follows them around. And the thing is, the runner can't always trace it back to the twin flame right away. It might show up as general dissatisfaction with their life, a feeling that something important is missing, a sudden loss of interest in all the distractions they'd been hiding behind. This is the soul doing its work. The runner is being called inward, whether they want to be or not. The spiritual traditions that talk about the dark night of the soul describe this exact experience. That moment when all your outer escapes stop working and you're left facing yourself. For the runner, this phase of the switch is deeply uncomfortable, but it is also profoundly necessary. It's the universe creating the conditions for the runner to stop running, not because they were caught, but because they genuinely ran out of reasons to keep going. 3. Old coping mechanisms stop working for both. Here's something really important that doesn't get talked about enough. When the runner-chaser switch starts, both people experience a breakdown of their old patterns at the same time. The chaser's strategy of loving from a distance while hoping things change stops feeling sustainable. The runner's strategy of staying busy, staying detached, staying one step ahead stops providing the relief it used to. It's like both people hit a wall simultaneously. And that's not a coincidence. Twin flames operate on the same energetic blueprint. When the growth reaches a certain level, the old structures that kept them stuck just collapse, for both of them at once. The chaser might notice that the usual ways they soothed their anxiety about the connection, journaling obsessively, overanalyzing, reaching out, seeking signs, suddenly feel hollow. The hunger for resolution is still there, but the familiar actions don't scratch it anymore. The runner, on the other hand, might notice that the usual ways they kept things light, staying noncommittal, keeping busy, maintaining emotional distance, start feeling heavy instead of freeing. What used to feel like freedom starts feeling like avoidance. Both people are being pushed by the same invisible hand toward a new way of being. That's the switch quietly doing its work before either person is fully conscious of it. Pay attention to the things that used to work for you that suddenly don't. That friction is a signal. 4. The runner begins initiating, tentatively but undeniably. One of the clearest external signs of the switch is when the runner starts reaching out. It might be subtle at first. A like on something online, a casual message that seems low stakes, a random check-in that doesn't quite make sense given the history between you. They're testing the waters, and that testing is significant. For someone who spent so long keeping their distance, any movement toward the other is a massive internal shift. What's driving it is a mix of things. The absence they've been feeling has finally tipped into something they can't ignore. The inner work they've been doing, whether consciously or unconsciously, has created enough space inside them to actually want closeness instead of fearing it. And because the chaser's energy has changed, the runner senses intuitively that the dynamic might be different now. The fear of being consumed by the connection, which drove a lot of the running in the first place, feels slightly less overwhelming. Here's something worth understanding. The runner's initial reach is often fragile. They haven't fully arrived yet. They're not suddenly healed and ready for everything. But they are moving. They are choosing to move toward instead of away. And that choice, however small it looks from the outside, is everything. For the chaser who has been waiting and working and growing, seeing this reach can bring up a flood of emotions. Excitement, disbelief, caution, all of that is valid because you've changed too, and you get to decide how you meet this moment from your new, stronger self. 5. There's a deep internal stillness replacing the urgency. This one is less visible from the outside, but it's one of the most profound signs of the switch. The chaser starts experiencing a kind of inner stillness they haven't felt in a long time, maybe ever, in the context of this connection. The anxious monitoring of the runner's behavior, the constant hoping, the checking energetically to see if anything has changed, it starts to quiet down, and in its place comes something that feels almost like peace. This isn't numbness, it's not distance. It's a genuine settling into the present moment without needing the future to look a certain way. What's happening here is that the chaser is completing a significant phase of their own healing. The obsessive quality of the connection, which was always about their own unresolved wounds as much as it was about the runner, starts to loosen its grip. They're learning to hold the love without being held hostage by it. Spiritually, this stillness is one of the most powerful states a person can enter. It radiates outward. It shifts the whole energy field of the connection. The runner, who was partly running because the chaser's energy felt urgent and consuming, now encounters something completely different when they sense the connection. They feel groundedness instead of need, steadiness instead of intensity, and that's actually far easier to move toward. The stillness in the chaser becomes an invitation, a genuine one, rather than a trap, and it changes everything about how the runner experiences the idea of coming closer. 6. Both start showing up differently in their own lives. The switch doesn't just show up in how the two people relate to each other. It shows up in how each person is living their own life. And this is one of the most telling signs of all. The chaser starts investing seriously in their own path, their purpose, their passions, their relationships outside the twin flame dynamic. Not as a distraction, but as a genuine expression of who they're becoming. They're not performing happiness to seem unbothered. They're actually building something real for themselves. The runner, meanwhile, often starts feeling an unusual pull toward depth. They might start asking bigger questions about their life, seeking something more meaningful in their work, their connections, their daily existence. The superficial things they used to be satisfied with start feeling thin. Both of these shifts are the soul moving into alignment. And here's the cosmic angle. The twin flame journey isn't just about the two people getting together. It's about both of them becoming the versions of themselves that can actually sustain the connection. The switch happens when both people have grown enough individually that the old dynamic, one chasing, one running, no longer represents who they truly are. Watching each other step into fuller versions of yourselves is one of the most powerful forms of mirroring in the entire journey. You are each other's evidence that growth is real, that change is possible, that the work has been worth it. 7. The connection starts feeling like a choice, not a compulsion. This is the deepest and most spiritually significant sign of the switch. The connection starts to feel like something both people are choosing, rather than something that's happening to them against their will. For the chaser, the love stops feeling like a wound and starts feeling like a gift they can hold with open hands. Still precious, but no longer the only thing keeping them going. For the runner, the connection stops feeling like a threat to their freedom and starts feeling like something they're genuinely curious about entering into fully. The compulsive quality on both sides, the compulsive reaching and the compulsive retreating, softens into something far more grounded. This shift represents both people moving out of a fear-based relationship with the connection and into a love-based one. And that's actually the whole point of the dynamic from the start. The running and chasing were never about one person being the problem. They were both responding to deep internal fears that needed to be faced. When both people have done enough of that facing, the compulsion loses its grip, and what's left is genuine desire, genuine choice, and a kind of mutual recognition that says, I see you now, and I'm here because I want to be, not because I don't know how to be anywhere else. Here's what all of this adds up to. The runner-chaser switch is not just a change in who's moving toward who. It's a signal that both people have done real, serious, soul-level work. It's the journey, showing you that it's alive, that it's moving, that something is genuinely building. If you're in the middle of this switch right now, whether you're the one pulling back or the one starting to reach, know that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Keep doing the inner work. Keep investing in yourself and your own becoming. The twin flame journey rewards depth. It rewards courage. And it always rewards the people who commit to their own growth without losing faith in the bigger picture. You've got this. Both of you do.